So first off, just thank you so much for everybody who's here. I've never been to this event before. I probably should have attended at some point, but I'm up here today from Hartford. Richard, thank you for putting up with me not getting you the information you needed until the last second. And Eric, thanks for the invite. I'm glad it came together on such short notice. Quick explanation for the obscure country music song that played. Obviously, it's not your traditional walk-up song, but it's the song my entire family associates with my niece, Maya, who just turned 1. And so that you can put a name to a face, this is Maya. I would never do that to you. So, family background done. My name is Matt McIvern, co-founder, CEO of Spark. We exist in the world of motorsports, so I'm not sure if there are any track drivers or newfound Formula One fans in the crowd. Okay. I had a feeling that might happen, and that's great. Motorsports is growing so quickly. We are the world's first driver development platform. So what does that mean? At Spark, we've been building and delivering ultra high-end racing simulators for almost a decade at this point. Racing simulator, just like a golf simulator that you can train in, you train on it for driving. In that time, we've identified an opportunity to unify so many pieces of a puzzle that currently have to be put together by whoever wants to get involved. So, aspiring drivers, and there are millions in the US right now. In short, we are one unifying technology platform that puts together numerous pieces of the puzzle so that you don't have to solve it yourself. We won't get into the details right here. But it's all under one membership, so that you're not sourcing everything you need from different locations. As I mentioned, motorsports is growing incredibly quickly in the US. All the numbers are up and to the right, and specifically, Formula One has never been more popular. Audi and Cadillac are joining. There's more races in the US than any other country, and there's actually a growing market for new racetracks being built around the US. I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with that, but there are country club racetracks going in. So think about your golf country club, substitute a racetrack for a golf course, and you have a motorsports country club. They are awesome. There's one in Monticello, New York, world-class facility. They're going in around the country. Currently, there are at least 8 in development, and the number of permits going through is impossible to keep up with. At a micro level, there are tracks like Thunderhill out in California, putting through 100,000 track drivers a year at their events. It is getting incredibly popular. The problem is, it's a mess. You have to piece together the entire thing. So for drivers, tracks, and coaches, those are the 3 most important constituents in motorsports. Drivers, you gotta go find every single thing you need from different buckets, put it all together. If you're a track, simulators are getting popular, you're getting left behind. You don't have access to revenue or exposure in this newfound world of training at home. And if you're a coach, you're looking to grow your business, find new clients. It's very difficult to do, and there's no convenient ways to work with them. So what we're doing is unifying all 3 of those stakeholders into one platform. For drivers, you're getting your simulator, your coaching, your track days, your support, numerous things. Tracks, revenue, relevance, exposure. And for coaches, drivers, and revenue. Some of the formatting got thrown off across the email. Apologies for that. This is what we're most excited about, the size of the opportunity. There are more than 85 racetracks in the US that are not available for you to train at home, which means the vast majority of drivers don't get to train on their local track where they do all their track days from home. We've spoken with some of these racetracks, some very famous ones across the bottom, who not only love what we're doing, but asked us if they can become a dealer for Spark, promoting us into their massive driver bases. I mentioned Thunderhill has 100,000 drivers a year. They've talked to us about signing on. These tracks give us validation. They give us exclusive content that you can't get on any other platform. And they give us a network of underserved drivers who want to continue their passion for motorsports as it continues to grow. This slide, the gist of it, is that drivers have lots of problems. That's the left side. We couldn't even fit all of them, but there's a bunch. Here on the right side are your current options. You either build a sim, or you buy a sim yourself, you piece it together, and all you're getting is a product. Think about buying a random exercise bike and just using it by yourself in your house, versus buying a Peloton bike and getting the exposure to the instructor, the class, and everything that comes with joining a platform versus just a product. We're providing a platform, not a product. For the tracks, again, left side, don't even worry about it. Tons and tons of problems. On the right side, 6-figure pricing for them to make themselves available on today's current offerings. We're actually offering a $0 partnership in exchange for them becoming a dealer. Value for value exchange that the tracks are very excited about. And then on the coaching side, you shouldn't have to hunt for new clients, which should be easy and convenient. So you can either do it yourself on the right or the center column, or bake it all together and join Spark. We've talked to some of the top name coaches around the country, and they're asking for something like this. In defining this new category that we are calling driver development platforms, we're actually designing it for long-term dominance of the category. Now, I know network effects is a buzzword. Everybody wants their company to harness network effects and take over the world and never look back. It's a great story. But we actually have the opportunity to do that. It starts with the racetracks and a symbiotic relationship with the drivers. So if your track joins as a driver, you'll probably join Spark, which makes more tracks join, more drivers join. We get coaches on board. Then we start doing real-world events. Those are stickiness items. You don't want to lose access to the real-world events, so you maintain your membership with Spark. And the cycle continues, and we grow our defensibility as we gain more drivers, more coaches, and more tracks on board, and network effects start to kick in. Our revenue, just like a country club, stems primarily from memberships. Initiation fee, monthly subscription, and the formatting got thrown off there. Apologies for the overlapping words, but you only really need to focus on this line right here because that's where the majority of our numbers come from. Our team has some history not only in this region, but in the industry as well. My business partner and I both went to RPI. He's the engineering side, I'm the business side. It tends to work out very, very well. Together we formed what was at the time Connecticut's first virtual reality arcade. We rolled that into the first virtual reality racing center in the country. We rolled that into selling high-end simulators to the Ferrari clubs and the Porsche clubs of the world. And in all that time, we've been formulating this idea to completely distance ourselves and reformat the industry. We brought on our buddy Kenny. He's got his own experience with multiple companies, including growing his own company, Dayton Cars and Coffee, to one of the top 5 largest meetups in the entire country. He's a successful guy on his own, and we're excited to have him on the team. We are raising $1.1 million to accomplish some very important milestones. That'll be our first 3 partner tracks, LiDAR scanned, moved over to the software, onboarded onto our platform, bringing those 3 tracks on as dealers, promoting us into their very large driver bases, as well as some development on the back end, less exciting stuff. But by the end of this pre-seed round, it's about 12 months of runway. We will not only have a list of drivers on our wait list wanting to join, but a list of tracks looking to join for the next wave and indicating future demand. I'll leave you here with that map. There's 87 pins on there, each of them representing a massive opportunity that we are excited to tackle. Thank you so much.
First question, Ferrari or Porsche?
I gotta go Porsche.
All right,
Sorry.
any other questions?
So BMW first versus Ferrari or Porsche.
Okay.
But so obviously the Verstappen effect is pretty huge, right? He's big into simulation racing and all that. And I believe he runs on iRacing. Is that true?
Different platforms, but
Okay.
part of it.
But you are competing with that platform. So how, basically my question is, how are you competing with that platform? Or are you not competing with that platform and using that platform?
That's a great question, and I'm starting to echo. Should I move the further away? Are we good on volume? Okay. So the incumbent in the industry is called iRacing. In this industry, they sort of won the COVID sweepstakes because when nobody could do real-world racing, IndyCar and NASCAR went racing virtually, and all of a sudden everybody knew about this new world. But during COVID, a friend of mine got me a video call with the co-founder and CEO of iRacing. He gave us some very valuable information, and we are not competing with them. Their market is race fans who want to do what their heroes are doing. And he told us 2 things that he doesn't know he told us. That's okay. He said, we suck at teaching people to drive. They just provide a software for you to feel like you're a driver. And then he told us that the vast majority of new members join iRacing for $250 in simulator hardware, meaning they go buy the cheapest wheel and pedals they can get, they strap it to their existing computer, their existing screen, they're not making the investment. Those are what we call sim racers. Spark, as you saw by the numbers there, $1,500 a month to start for the value we're baking in. It's for drivers. A track day itself will cost you $1,000 on its own. So that $1,500 is very in line with the price of being a motorsports driver. So we don't compete with iRacing. And they were included when I said there's 87 unscanned tracks around the country. They're not scanning them. They're focused internationally, which gives us an opportunity.
What's your total acquisition cost for a new track, including scanning and everything else?
Right now, we're ballparking that number between $60,000 and $80,000. We're talking with different LiDAR scanning companies in order to pull that off. But those are numbers that we feel we can drive down with some efficiencies on the software side and bulk on the hardware side.
How do you come up with the number of $1,500 a month?
You want the exact answer or just sort of ballpark?
So I'm familiar with the track in Austin, Texas that actually has some pretty high-end, what I would call go-karts. And for a hell of a lot less than $1,500 a month, I can go out and run that track. So how do you compete with a lower cost solution? $1,500 a month's not going to pick up anybody at University of Texas.
Are you a track driver?
No.
Okay. Go-karting is fun. It cannot touch track driving. So track driving is like the big boy adrenaline versus the kids adrenaline. I love go-karting. I do it every chance I get. That $1,500 gives you a high-end simulator in your home, weekly coaching with a professional coach, support and other things baked in, access to real-world events, a community. It's not even in the same conversation as go-karting or video games or any substitute for someone who does real-world track driving or aspires to. Different category.
Is there a particular simulator that you have to use, or is it your simulator, or whose sim are you using?
So that's part of what we're solving, is that whole fragmented mess is for drivers looking to invest in a simulator and get more into the hobby. There are hundreds of options. There's no central player, and often people end up building some piece of junk that they don't use anyway. We are actually in those prices, baking in the lease of a high-end simulator that we've proven we can build. It includes a leased hardware turnkey simulator in your home, installed. And it includes every 4 years, we'll refresh it with a brand new sim because the technology is always improving. So you never have to buy it, you're leasing it.